Evening, old is gold, wisdom family. If you are over 60, one small crunchy habit could silently increase your risk of a stroke overnight. There is no pain, no warning, and no second chance. You go to sleep feeling normal, but by morning your balance feels off, your speech becomes unclear, or one side of your body refuses to move. As a brain specialist, I have witnessed this situation far too often. Older adults who believed they were eating wisely, supporting their heart and brain health, later learned that the food they trusted was slowly harming them. Not fast food, not soft drinks, not even sugar, but nuts. Yes, nuts. The same foods often promoted as healthy snacks in magazines and senior wellness programs. While some nuts can help with healthy aging, others, especially when eaten in excess or at the wrong time, can quietly cause damage. They may raise blood pressure, thin the blood excessively, or react dangerously with common medications. The most alarming part is that almost no one talks about this risk. Today, I will reveal 5 common nuts that may increase your chances of stroke, memory problems, or even bleeding in the brain. What you are about to hear may surprise you, but it could also protect your life. Before we continue, if you have not subscribed yet, I suggest you press that button and turn on notifications so you never miss health advice created especially for you. If you find this video helpful, type 1 in the comments. If not, type 0 and tell me how I can improve the content for you. 1. Cashews. The hidden salt danger. Cashews are among the most popular snacks in the United States. They taste creamy, slightly sweet, and seem far safer than chips or candy. Many of my older patients keep a container of cashews nearby, believing they are choosing a healthy option. But here is the concerning reality. For adults over 60, cashews can quietly contribute to stroke risk. Not months from now, not years later, but even tonight while you are asleep. Why does this happen? Because most cashews sold in the US are roasted and heavily salted. In younger people, this extra sodium may only cause mild bloating or a small rise in blood pressure. However, in aging bodies, where arteries are less flexible, kidneys filter less efficiently, and the heart is already under strain, that sodium becomes dangerous. Salt narrows blood vessels, hardens artery walls, and makes the heart work harder to push blood through. Blood pressure slowly rises. Artery linings weaken. In the delicate vessels of the brain, this pressure can trigger a stroke. Blood clots can form and block oxygen within seconds. I clearly remember one of my patients, Mr. Leonard, age 74, a retired truck driver who took pride in making healthier food choices. He stopped eating potato chips years ago and replaced them with a bowl of salted cashews next to his recliner. Every evening while watching the news, he would eat a handful, sometimes more. He truly believed he was helping his heart. One morning, his wife found him slouched in his chair. His speech was unclear, and he could not lift his right arm. At the hospital, imaging confirmed he had suffered a stroke. His blood pressure had risen sharply overnight. His arteries were unable to handle the strain, and the damage was done. The clot had become stuck in a small, yet vital blood vessel in his brain. He survived the event, but now relies on a cane to walk. His independence was permanently changed by a simple habit he believed was safe. This is what I want you to clearly understand. After age 60, even 1 or 2 handfuls of salted cashews can quietly push blood pressure into a dangerous range. When they are eaten in the evening, as circulation slows and the body begins to rest, the conditions become ideal for a clot to form during sleep. What seems like a harmless snack can be the very trigger that takes away your speech, your balance, and even your future. If the truth about cashews surprised you, wait until you hear about almonds. While cashews increase blood pressure, almonds thin the blood, and in the wrong body, that risk can be just as serious. If you are still watching and finding this information useful, please type number 1 in the comments so I know you are following along. Now, let's move to the second point. 2. Almonds. The vitamin E overload. Almonds are everywhere today. You find them in trail mixes, granola bars, almond milk, and in polished heart-healthy advertisements that make them appear to be the ideal snack. For younger adults, almonds can truly be a good choice. But after 60, when the body's balance changes and daily medications become routine, almonds can shift from helpful to harmful in ways most seniors are never warned about. The risk comes from something many people assume is beneficial. Vitamin E. Almonds contain high levels of it. While small amounts support healthy cells, too much vitamin E causes the blood to become thinner. This means clotting takes longer. For seniors taking aspirin, warfarin, or other blood-thinning medications that are commonly prescribed, the extra vitamin E slowly pushes the body out of balance. You do not feel sick right away. There is no early warning, but inside the delicate blood vessels of the brain, overly thin blood allows a small tear to become a serious brain bleed. It can trigger strokes, cause dangerous clots, and take away what you have spent a lifetime protecting. I remember one of my patients, Mrs. Peterson, age 79, a retired school librarian. She lived by the belief that natural was always best. Every morning, she ate whole grain toast with a generous layer of almond butter, proud of her healthy habit. She also took a daily aspirin prescribed by her cardiologist after a minor heart concern. For months, she felt perfectly fine. Then she began to notice mild headaches and occasional dizziness. One evening, she collapsed while reading in her chair. At the hospital, scans revealed a hemorrhagic stroke. A blood vessel deep in her brain had ruptured. Her tests showed her blood was excessively thin. She had not taken extra aspirin. She had not made a medication error. The issue was the combination. Daily aspirin, together with years of high vitamin E intake from almonds, had quietly tipped the balance. Her independence was nearly taken away by a nut she trusted. This is why I caution seniors that more is not better. A small handful of almonds may be safe. But when almond milk, almond butter, and repeated servings of roasted almonds are added day after day, the combined effect can become dangerous. For older adults, moderation is not just a suggestion, it is a matter of survival. And if almonds surprised you, wait until you hear about pistachios. Because while almonds thin the blood, pistachios can disrupt blood pressure so suddenly that seniors end up dizzy, falling, and in some cases, never fully recovering. 3. Pistachios. Blood pressure surge. Pistachios are America's favorite guilty snack. They feel light, enjoyable, almost playful. You crack the shell, eat one after another, and before you realize it, half the bag is gone while watching your favorite program. They seem harmless, don't they? Small, green, full of protein. But for older adults, pistachios can quietly create the exact conditions that lead to a stroke. It does not happen all at once, and that delay is what makes it so dangerous. It creeps in when your body is least able to manage the stress. Here is what most people never hear. The majority of pistachios sold in stores are roasted with heavy amounts of salt. That sodium alone can narrow arteries and raise blood pressure beyond what an aging heart and brain can safely tolerate. But pistachios carry another hidden danger. They contain high levels of arginine, an amino acid that widens blood vessels. In younger bodies, this widening may not cause problems, but in seniors, whose arteries are already stiff and fragile, sudden changes in vessel size can send blood pressure rapidly up and down like a roller coaster. When blood pressure rises or drops without warning, it triggers strokes. It forms clots and can even cause ruptures in delicate brain tissue that leave lasting damage. I think of my patient, Mr. Thomas, 82, a retired mechanic who took pride in staying active. Every evening, he sat at the kitchen table with his newspaper and a large bowl of pistachios. It was his daily routine. He believed they were a smarter choice than cookies or chips. But one night, after eating nearly half a bag, he stood up and felt the room spin. His wife found him collapsed on the floor, his skin pale, his body shaking. At the hospital, we learned his blood pressure had dropped to a dangerously low level. In the middle of that instability, a clot formed, blocking blood flow to part of his brain. A stroke caused not by smoking or fried foods, but by pistachios. Small, green, seemingly innocent pistachios. He survived, but his balance never fully returned. He now depends on a walker. His independence was taken by a snack he believed was safe. This is why I tell my older patients an important truth. Pistachios are not as harmless as they appear. If you are over 60, especially if you take blood pressure medication, even a large handful can be enough to throw your circulation off balance. Salt drives blood pressure too high, arginine pulls it too low, and aging arteries cannot recover the way they once did. The result is silent, unpredictable, and sometimes permanent. And if pistachios surprised you, wait until you hear about Brazil nuts. Because unlike pistachios, which disrupt blood pressure, Brazil nuts quietly damage your system from the inside, one bite at a time. If you are still watching and finding this information helpful, please type number 1 in the comments so I know you are here. Now, let's continue with point number 4.4. Brazil nuts. Selenium toxicity. Brazil nuts are often promoted as a superfood, the kind of exotic snack you read about in health magazines or hear praised on morning shows. They are large, rich, and eating just a few can feel like a special treat compared to other nuts. Many older adults are told they support thyroid health, strengthen immunity, or provide powerful antioxidants. But what is rarely mentioned is the darker side of this nut. Brazil nuts contain one of the highest natural levels of selenium in the human diet, and for seniors, this can become a silent threat. Selenium is a trace mineral. In very small doses, it helps the body function properly. But Brazil nuts do not offer selenium in small amounts. Just one single Brazil nut can meet your entire daily requirement and often exceed it. This means if you eat 2, 3, or 5 in a day, you are no longer supporting your health. You are slowly harming it. Excess selenium builds up quietly, especially in older adults whose liver and kidneys no longer clear toxins as efficiently as they once did. This overload creates oxidative stress, weakens blood vessel walls, and disrupts the normal rhythm of the heart. Over time, it does more than cause fatigue. It triggers strokes, it forms clots, and it can rupture delicate brain arteries without any warning. I think of Mrs. Allen, a 76-year-old retired nurse who came to me after months of subtle but troubling symptoms. She had read online that Brazil nuts were a natural way to strengthen her immune system. So she developed a habit of eating half a dozen every morning with her coffee. At first, she felt fine, even proud of her superfood routine. Then came the tremors, the dizziness, and a strange metallic taste in her mouth. She ignored these signs, assuming it was simply aging. One morning, she suddenly collapsed at her kitchen table. Her daughter rushed her to the hospital, where we discovered she had suffered a mild ischemic stroke. Her blood had thickened, her circulation was unstable, and her selenium levels were more than twice the normal range. She had not taken extra supplements. She had not misused her medication. Her daily handful of Brazil nuts had quietly pushed her body into toxicity. She survived, but her independence was never the same. She now walked slowly and carefully, a woman betrayed by a nut she believed was helping her. This is why I warn my senior patients. Brazil nuts are not meant to be eaten by the handful. They are powerful, concentrated, and dangerous when misunderstood. One nut occasionally may be acceptable, but anything more places you on a thin line between health and harm. As the body ages and processes nutrients more slowly, the room for mistakes disappears. And if Brazil nuts made you uneasy, wait until you hear about peanuts. Because unlike Brazil nuts, peanuts are not exotic at all. They are America's comfort food, but hidden inside that familiar jar of peanut butter becomes a hidden danger that can quietly damage your liver, inflame your blood vessels, and prepare the ground for strokes that permanently change a life. 5. Peanuts. America's comfort food with concealed risks. Peanuts feel woven into the American experience. From peanut butter sandwiches in childhood lunchboxes to roasted peanuts at baseball games, they have long represented comfort, tradition, and simple nutrition. For many older adults, peanuts or peanut butter are daily staples, easy to eat, affordable, and familiar. But as a brain specialist who has treated countless seniors, I must be honest with you. Peanuts are not as safe as they seem. For people over 60, they can quietly become one of the most dangerous nuts, creating the exact conditions that lead to strokes. The risk comes from 3 hidden sources. First, peanuts are among the most mold-prone crops in the country. Even after processing, they may contain trace amounts of aflatoxins, toxic substances produced by mold that harm the liver, weaken blood vessels, and increase inflammation in the brain. In seniors, whose detox systems work more slowly, these toxins do not simply pass through. They build up over time, silently eroding vascular health. Second, peanuts are rarely eaten in their natural state. In stores, they are often roasted with salt, coated with sugar, or turned into peanut butter filled with hydrogenated oils. Each spoonful adds sodium, trans fats, and sugars that raise blood pressure, thicken the blood, and inflame artery walls. And third, peanuts are powerful allergens. Even in people without obvious allergic reactions, they can trigger low-grade inflammation. For aging brains and fragile blood vessels, this constant inflammation is dangerous. It triggers strokes, it forms clots, and it leaves weakened arteries even more vulnerable. I think of Mr. Raymond, 80, one of my patients, who lived by the saying, "Better peanut butter than pastries." Every morning, he spread 2 large spoonfuls of sweetened peanut butter on white toast. He believed he was choosing the healthier option, but over time, his blood sugar slowly rose, his blood pressure increased, and he began feeling occasional morning dizziness. One day, while standing at his kitchen counter, he dropped the knife from his right hand and could not bend down to pick it up. His wife rushed him to the hospital, where scans revealed a transient ischemic attack. His lab tests showed elevated inflammation and unstable circulation. The cause was not candy or soda. It was the daily peanut butter he trusted. His stroke served as a warning, but for many others, that warning never arrives. This is why I caution every senior. Peanuts are not the same food they were decades ago. The mix of toxins, salt, sugar, and hidden inflammation turns them into a dangerous comfort. You may not feel the effects as you eat them, but inside your body, each handful adds pressure, makes the blood stickier, and prepares the brain for disaster. What feels like a harmless snack can be the final push that leads to a stroke you never see coming. And if what you've heard about peanuts unsettles you, stay with me. Because now we reach the most important part of all, the truth about which nuts and fruits actually protect your brain. Which ones are safe allies for healthy aging, and how small adjustments can help you stay sharp, balanced, and independent for many years ahead. The truth about nuts, aging, and protecting your brain after learning about the hidden risks of cashews, almonds, pistachios, Brazil nuts, and peanuts. You may feel surprised, even disappointed. All your life, you were told that nuts were superfoods, right? A natural snack you could rely on. And for younger people, that may have been true. But for adults, over 60, with slower kidneys, livers busy processing medications, and blood vessels that no longer bend the way they once did, the story changes completely. The same nuts that once supported your heart can now work against you. Think about it. Cashews flood the body with salt, raising blood pressure until arteries struggle to cope. Almonds, when vitamin E intake is too high, thin the blood so much that even a tiny vessel tear can cause bleeding inside the brain. Pistachios send blood pressure swinging unpredictably, high one moment and low the next, creating a dangerous instability for fragile circulation. Brazil nuts, when eaten in excess, quietly overload the body with selenium, pushing blood vessels toward weakness and clot formation. And peanuts, America's comfort food, carry mold toxins, hidden sugars, and excess salt that slowly inflame blood vessels year after year. Each of these risks alone is concerning, but together they create a serious reality. Your brain may not be as protected as you believe. One innocent evening snack, one daily habit you thought was healthy, can become the trigger that takes away your speech, your balance, or your independence. I have seen this happen in my patients. I have seen it happen overnight, without warning, and it is heartbreaking, because many of these strokes could have been prevented. Not with more medications, but with better awareness. But here is the hopeful part. Not all nuts are harmful. Walnuts, rich in omega-3 south, can support brain health. Pecans, packed with antioxidants, can aid healthy aging. Hazelnuts, when eaten in moderation, offer gentle benefits without overwhelming the body. The goal is not fear, but wisdom, understanding which foods your aging body can manage and which ones quietly move you toward danger. At this stage of life, every bite matters. You are not weak, but you are different. Your body deserves care, not surprises. Honor that reality, and you can protect your brain, your independence, and the life you still want to live fully. And now, let's turn to the foods that truly heal. The brain-safe choices that help keep your memory strong, your balance steady, and your future in your control. These lessons are meant to encourage you to live fully and honestly. Now, I would love to hear from you. Take a moment to reflect and share one thing you learned and plan to apply in your own life. Let's support one another on this journey of understanding and growth. If you enjoyed this video, please comment with 1. If not, feel free to comment with 0. Your feedback truly matters to us. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to our YouTube channel for more content like this. Thank you for watching, and here's to living life on your own terms. Take care. Old is gold, wisdom family.